How high the moon in June, how blue the moon when it's high noon. And the turtle doves above croon out of tune in love, saying, please above the trees, which when there's thunder you don't run under those trees. 'Cause there'll be pennies fall on Alabama, and you'll drown in foggy London town. The sun was shining on my Yiddisher mama.
Albert!
Albert!
What?
Bobbie, me and Charlie's done.
Right. Dip, brush, slap, slide, slick. And once again, dip, brush, slap. Oh, goes on so nicely. And tickle it in the corner there, behind the rivet. No one will see that from the ground. I could cheat up here, but I know. So dip, brush, slap, slide, slick for the last time until the next time. Every surface sleek, renewed. Dip, brush, slide, tickle, and wipe. Right in there with the old rust-proof rust brown. All glossed and even, end to end. The last touch. Perfection. Oh my. I could stand back to admire it and fall 300 feet into the sea. Watch your heads! Watch your head, Dad.
I'm not your dad. Keep off the wet. Work down the slope to the middle and watch your feet. Going down for good. Oh yes, not facing that again. 10 coats I've done, end to end. Now I'm done alright. I had ambitions, you know.
Watch my head, Dad!
Mind my feet, Charlie. Come down.
I'll watch your feet, you mind my head! Mind your head, Bobbie!
Take care of your feet, Charlie!
You mind my feet, Bobbie! Watch my head, Dad!
Hey, I'm not your dad. Mind my feet. That's my head, Albert.
Coming down. Doesn't she look beautiful?
Looks the same as always. There's no progress. 20 years, 20,000 pots of paint. Yeah, it ends.
I thought we'd never see the end of it!
It's not the end!
There's no end to it!
10 coats, non-stop, one after the other. That's no improvement, no change, even just holding its own against the weather. It's a long time, it's a lot of paint. Could have made my mark.
Continuity. That's hard to come by.
Spread my life over those girders, and in 5 minutes I can scrape down to the iron, I can scratch down to my crown.
Simplicity. So contained, neat. Your bargain with the world, your wages, your time, your energy, your property, everything you took out and everything you put in, all contained there in 10 layers of paint. Accounted for. Now, that's something to keep track of everything you put into the kitty. Have it lie there, under your eye. Fixed and immediate. There are no consequences to a coat of paint. It's more than can be said for the factory man. His bits and pieces scatter, grow wheels, disintegrate, change color, join up in new forms which he doesn't know anything about. In short, he doesn't know what he's done to whom.
Watch your feet, Albert. Mind your head, Charlie.
You mind my head! Take care of my feet, Bobbie!
Watch your feet, Charlie!
Watch your feet, Dad!
That's my head, Albert.
Coming down. Look at her up there, crisscrossed and infinite. Can't see where it ends. I could take off through its branches, screaming like a gibbon.
Mind where you put your feet, Albert.
Watch my head, Dad!
Train coming, Charlie!
Seen it?
And down!
Mind where you jump, Dad!
I seen it.
None too soon.
There's a train coming, Albert.
I'm with you.
Finished.
Like hell.
Well, that's another 2 years behind you.
You know, a guy once offered me a half a share in a very nice import-export business in the China Seas. I had it in me.
Mind your toes. Now that's a good way to end the day. Ending so much else.
All right for some students.
Rich kids!
Yeah, summer jobs.
One bridge, freshly painted. A million tons of iron thrown across the bay. Rust brown even to the last lick. Spick and span. Rust-proofed, weather-resistant. Perfect.
The other end needs paint now. Man could go mad.
let us not forget, people, that the Clifton-Bay Bridge is the fourth biggest single-span, double-track, shore-to-shore railway bridge in the world, bar none.
Hear, hear, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Dave.
I've been studying these figures, Mr. Chairman,
Just
and
a moment, Jen. We've got an amenity here in Clifton. That bridge stands for the whole town, quite apart from the money earned by its railway dues.
Hear, hear, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Dave.
according to the city engineer's figures, Mr.
Just a
Chairman,
moment, Jen. When my grandfather built that bridge, he didn't spare the brass. And I, for one, as the chairman of this Clifton Bay Bridge Subcommittee, entrusted as we are with the upkeep and responsibility of what is a symbol of Clifton's prosperity, I, for one, do not mind spending a few extra dollars on a bit of paint.
Hear, hear, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Dave.
I know it's a symbol of your prosperity, Mr.
Oh,
Chairman,
no,
but
that's a highly improper remark, Jen. Clifton's prosperity is what I said.
Hear, hear, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Dave.
my mistake, Mr. Chairman. But if Mr. Fitch's figures are correct, then
My figures are always correct, Mr. Chairman.
Ah, see, Jen, the city's engineer's figures are a model of correctitude.
Hear, hear, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Dave.
So this new paint he's recommending is going to cost us 4 times as much as the paint we've been using up till now.
4 times as much? Money?
Hear, hear, Mr. Chairman.
Just a moment, Dave. I don't think your figures are correct, Jen. Mr. Fitch knows his business.
What business is he in? Paint?
No, that's a highly improper remark, Jen. Or you aren't in the business of paint, are you, Mr. Fitch?
No, Mr. Chairman.
No, of course not. You should be ashamed, Jen.
Hear, hear, Mr. Chairman.
Shut up, Dave. Now, what are we going to do about this, Fitch? Is this true what Jen says?
Well, up to a point, Mr. Chairman, yes, but in the long run, no.
Don't fart around with me, Fitch. Does this newfangled paint of yours cost 4 times as much as the paint we've been using now? And if so, then what is in it for you?
Here, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Jen.
To put the matter at its simplest, Mr. Chairman, the new paint costs 4 times as much and lasts 4 times as long.
Ah, there we go. Thank you, Fitch. This new paint of yours costs 4 times as much, but lasts 4 times as long. Very neat, Fitch. I thought we got you there.
What's the point, then?
Apart from its silvery color, Mr. Chairman, which would be a pleasanter effect than the present rusty brown, the new paint would also afford a considerable saving, as you can no doubt see.
Ah, good. Everyone see that? Well, I don't.
Nor do I.
Hear, hear, Jen.
Shut up, Dave.
If I might explain. As you know, in common with other great bridges of its kind, the painting of Clifton Bay Bridge is a continuous operation. That is to say, by the time the painters have reached the far end, the end they started at needs painting again.
I never knew that.
Shut up, Dave.
This cycle is not a fortuitous one. It is contrived by relating the area of the surfaces to be painted, call it A, with the rate of the painting, B, and the durability of the paint, C. The resultant equation determines the variable factor X, i.e. the number of painters required to paint surfaces A at speed B within time C. For example...
E.g.
Right.
Yeah.
E.g., with X plus 1 painters, the work would proceed at a higher rate, i.e. B plus CGQ. However, the factors A and C, the surface area and the lasting quality of the paint would remain, of course, constant. The result would be that the painters would be ready to begin painting the bridge for the second time, strictly speaking, before it needed repainting. This creates the coefficient, waste,
W.
if you like. This coefficient belies efficiency, you see.
You see, Jen?
Okay, I see.
To continue, furthermore, the value of the coefficient, waste, is progressive. Let me put it like this, gentlemen. Because the rate of the painting is constant, i.e. too fast to allow the paintwork to deteriorate, each bit the men come to requires repainting a bit less than the part before it. You see, they're all the time catching up on themselves progressively, until they'll come to a point where they're repainting the bridge while it's still wet. No, that can't be right.
Come to the point, Fitch. Wake up, Dave.
To put it another way...
Hear, hear, Mr. Chairman.
To put it another way, gentlemen, that is to say, conversely. With 1 too few painters, X minus 1, the rate of progress goes down to, let us say, B minus Q. So what is the result? By the time the painters have reached the far end, the end they started at has deteriorated into unsightly and damaging rust, a coefficient representing the converse inefficiency.
For God's sakes, Fitch, I don't even know what you're dribbling on about.
In a nutshell, Fitch, this new paint costs 4 times as much and lasts 4 times as long. Where's the money saved?
We fired 3 painters.
Ah.
You see, to date we have achieved your optimum efficiency by employing 4 men. It takes them 2 years to paint the bridge, which is the length of time the paint lasts. This new paint will last 8 years, so we need only 1 man to paint the bridge by himself. After 8 years, the end he started at will be just ready for repainting. The saving to the taxpayers would be $115,690 per year.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman.
Just a moment, Jenn. I congratulate you, Fitch. An inspired stroke. We'll put it up to the meeting of the full council.
Excuse me, Mr.
Shut
Chairman.
up, Jenn.
Here, here, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Fitch.
Aren't you getting up, Albert? It's past 11. Are you listening to me, Albert?
What?
I'm talking to you, Albert.
Yes.
Yes, what?
Yes, Mother.
That's better. Oh dear, what was I saying?
I don't know, Mother.
I was against that university from the start.
The country needs universities.
I mean, it's changed you, Albert. You're thinking all the time. It's not like you, Albert.
Thinking?
You don't talk to me. Or your father. Well, I'm glad it's all behind you. I hope it starts to wear off.
I wanted to stay on after my degree, but they wouldn't have me.
I don't know what you want to know about philosophy for. Your father didn't have to study philosophy, and look where he is. Chairman of Metal Alloys and Allied Metals. Yes, you could have been a trainee executive by now. As it is, you'll have to start on the factory floor. Philosophy or no philosophy. That university has held you back.
I'll have to get myself apprenticed to a philosopher. Start at the bottom. Of course, the philosopher's clerk wouldn't get the really interesting work right off, I know that. It'll be a matter of filing the generalizations, tidying up the paradoxes, laying out the premises before the boss gets in, that kind of thing. But after I've learned the ropes, I might get a half share in a dialectic, and maybe work up towards a treatise. Yes, I could have my very own thriving little philosopher's office in a couple years.
Would you like to have some coffee downstairs?
Yes.
Yes, what?
Yes, please.
I still think it was mean of you not to let us know you had a summer vacation.
I thought you knew I've had one every year.
You know I've no head for dates. You could have come home to see us.
I'm sorry, there was just this temporary job going.
Your father would have given you some money if you'd asked him.
I thought I'd give it a try by myself.
You'll have to get up now.
It was fantastic up there. The scale of it. From the ground, it looks just like a cat's cradle. And from a distance, you can take it all in. And then up there in the middle of it, the thinnest threads are as thick as your body, and you could play tennis on the main girders.
Kate will be up in a minute to make the beds.
It's absurd, really. Being up there looking down at the university lying under you like a couple of bricks full of dots studying philosophy.
I don't want you getting in Kate's way. She's got to clean.
What could they possibly know? I saw more up there in 3 weeks than those dots did in 3 years. I saw the context. It reduced philosophy and everything else. I got a perspective. Because that bridge was separate, complete, removed, defined by principles of engineering which make it stop at a certain point, which compels a certain shape, certain joints, the whole thing utterly fixed by the rules that make it stay up. It's complete. And a man can give his life to its maintenance. That's a good bargain.
Do you love me, Albert?
Yes.
Yes, what?
Yes, please.
Number 43 on the order paper, proposal from Bridge Subcommittee.
Move. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Against? Carried. Number 44 on the order paper.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Albert.
Oh, hello. I was just thinking of getting up.
What? By myself? It would take years.
8 years, yes?
No. I demand a transfer.
I thought I'd give you first refusal.
I want to go back to painting the city logo on the trash cans.
I could fit you in on the magenta.
On the what?
It's one to a color nowadays. Efficiency.
You must be joking.
It's an opportunity for you.
I'd go nuts. Why just one?
Efficiency.
No, I'm not doing that bridge on my own.
It's no more work than before.
Well, I'd jump off within a month.
Oh. Well, we couldn't have that. That would be only 1/96th of it done.
You mean it's a cheaper way of doing it?
More efficient.
We've been doing a good job.
Efficiency is a matter of good and bad, actually. It's a matter of the optimal use of resources. Time, money, manpower.
You mean it's cheaper? I don't know.
Try the first 8 years.
Might be my last date. I haven't done anything yet. I want a future.
Well, I could fit you in on yellow no parking lines.
Yeah, all right.
But do you have any qualifications?
Well, I've got a degree in philosophy, Mr. Fitch.
That's a little unusual.
I wouldn't say that. There were lots of us doing it.
That's all very well if you're going to be a philosopher, but what we're talking about is painting bridges.
Yes, I can see what you're driving at, of course, but I don't suppose it did me any harm. Almost everyone who didn't know what to do did philosophy. Well, that's logical.
You're an educated man.
Thank you.
What I'm trying to say is, you're not the run-of-the-mill bridge painter, not the raw talent I'm looking for.
Well, I did it in the vacation.
Yes, I read their report. But really...
I know what you mean, but that's what I want to do. I liked it. I don't want to work in a factory or an office.
Is it the open-air life that attracts you?
No. It's the work. The whole thing, crawling around that great basket so high up, being responsible for so much that's so visible. Actually, I don't know if that's why I liked it. I liked it because I was happy up there. Doing something simple, but big. Without end. It doesn't get away from you.
The intellectual rather than the practical. That's it, isn't it?
Probably.
I'm the same. It's poetry to me. A perfect equation of space, time, and energy.
Yes.
It's not just slapping paint on a girder.
No.
It's continuity, control, mathematics.
Poetry.
Yes. I should have known it was a job for a university man.
Like me and you.
Well, I went to night school myself.
Same thing, different time.
That's what I say.
I'm your man, Mr. Fitch.
You'll stick to it for 8 years, will you?
Oh. I'll paint it more than once.
Now, Albert, you've had your fun. When I was your age, I got 6 years of work behind me.
Well, I'm starting work now, Father.
Well, you certainly are. But don't think you're going to start at the top. You'll get there all right in time, but you've got to learn the business first. Is there any more coffee, Mother?
Ring for Kate, would you, Albert?
Yes, Mother.
That reminds me.
You'll start where I started, on the shop floor.
Well, actually, Father...
I don't want to sound old-fashioned, but you can't just look the other way.
Yes, I never went in for books and philosophy, and look at me now.
I suppose that's the price one pays for having help nowadays.
What?
I started Metal Allies and Allied Metals, built it from a furnace in the backyard, small smelting jobs for the cycle repair shop.
I suspected her for some time, and now, well, I can't ignore it.
Who? You can come in on Monday, and I'll hand you over to the foreman.
I've actually got a job already.
You haven't got a job till I give you one.
I'm going to paint Cloughton-Bay Bridge starting Monday.
What color?
Silver.
Just a minute,
You beg, ma'am?
More coffee, Kate, please.
Yes, ma'am.
And a word.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you ill?
No, ma'am.
I believe I heard you being ill in the bathroom this morning.
Yes, ma'am.
And yesterday?
Yes, ma'am.
Something the matter, Kate?
No, Mr. Albert.
Leave this to me. And you fainted in the kitchen last week.
I got a little...
Kate.
Let's not beat about the bush. Is it the gardener's son?
No, ma'am.
Then who is it?
Who's what?
I'm sorry. You can have a month's wages, of course. You better make sure that the young man does the right thing by you.
Never thought you'd do the right thing by me, Albert.
We'll be alright. It's a nice apartment.
Your mom didn't like it.
My mother's got no taste. I'll turn on the heat.
And wrap up warm when you go out. It'll be freezing up there.
Only a breeze.
It'll be ice in a month. If you fell, I'd die, Albert.
So I.
Don't you ever fall. They shouldn't make it a year-round job. It's dangerous.
No, you don't know how big it is. The threads are like ladders and the piers are like piers into the sky.
You hold on tight for the spring and the baby.
Brush, slap, slide, slick. Dip, brush, slap, slide, slick. In 8 years, I'll be pushing 30. And the Clifton Bay Bridge will be a silver bridge. Dip, brush, without end. I'm the bridge man. Web spinning silver and Spider-Man. Crawling across heaven and earth on a cantilevered span. Cats cradled in the sky. Look down at the toy ships where the sea pounds, under toy trains to toy towns, under my hand. Am I the spider or the fly? I'm the bridge man. The girl went upstairs to make a bed that I was in, and suddenly... I named this child Albert.
You can't.
Very well. I named this child Kate.
Catherine.
Tomorrow, wheel her along to the bridge so I can see you.
All right. But don't wave, Albert. Don't wave. If you waved and fell...
I won't wave. Dip, brush, slap, slide, slick, without end, come rain or shine, a fine way to spend my time. My life is set out for me. My future traced in brown, my past measured in silver. How absurd. How sublime. Don't look down. Climb and clamber in a giant frame. Dip, brush, dip, brush. And again. I straddle a sort of overflowing gutter on which bathtub boats push up and down. The banks are littered with various bricks, kitty blocks with windows. Dinky toys move through the gaps, dodged by moving dots that have no color. Under my feet, the train thunders across the bridge, and the Lego houses straggle up over the hill in neat rows with paint box gardens. It's the most expensive toy town in the store. The detail's remarkable, but fragile. I tremble for it, half expecting some petulant, pampered child to step over the whole thing and knock the whole thing to bits with her flip-flops. Don't look down. The dots are looking up. Don't wave, don't fall. Tumbling down a telescope, diminishing to a dot. In 8 years, who will I be? Not me. I'll be assimilated then, the honest working man, father of 3. You've seen him around, content in his obscurity, come to terms with public truths, digging in the garden of his own backyard. I'm okay for 50 years with any luck. I can see me climbing up a silver bridge to paint it for the 7th time. Keeping track of my life spent painting in the color of my track. Above it all, brush to brush, silvering the brown. Which dot is mine? Don't wave, don't look down, don't fall.
I saw you today.
What was I doing?
Painting, I suppose. Crawling backwards along a crosspiece.
Pulling silver after me. I didn't see you, or I didn't see which one was you.
Coming out of the hairdresser's. $15 I had it trimmed and styled.
Just goes to show, if you can get far enough away, $15 doesn't show, and nor does anything at a distance.
Well, life is all close up, isn't it?
Yes, it hits you when you come back down how close everything is. You can't stand back to look at it.
Do you like my hair like this?
Like what? Oh, yes. Do you like mine?
I got whistled at in the street.
It's always happening to me.
A truck driver at the traffic lights.
They're the worst.
Albert, I had the stroller with me too.
You look too young for it, big sister.
Oh, and I cook pretty good, don't I?
I'd whistle at you.
I'd come if you whistled. I'd give you a wink.
Oh yes, it'd be you and me, no trouble at all. I'd take you down by the canal after the movies.
What do you know about it? With your education and all?
Me? I'm a working man.
You don't have any regrets, do you, Albert?
No.
It wasn't a good bargain on the face of it.
It depends on what you want.
Me and the baby. 2 rooms and a 45-hour week. Hard work and no advancement.
I'm not ambitious.
You could have had so much. A white wedding, a nice house, an office job with real prospects. The country club and tennis. Yes, you could have had metal alloys and allied metals, the top job. Responsibility, your own office with telephones.
Yes, I'm well out of that. Progress. 2 lines of silver meeting in an angle bracket and tickle in the corner there. Slip, slop, and wipe, and on we go up to the slope. Does the town look up? Do they all stare and say to each other, "Look at him! How ridiculous he looks up there, so small, so laughably inadequate." Or do they say, "How brave? One man against the elements, pitted against so much!" Lone explorer, feeling his way between the iron crevices, tacked against the sky by his boots, fingers, dots, bricks, beetles. I could drown them in my spit.
That isn't nice, Albert.
Spitting?
Talking like that.
It doesn't represent desire. I'll let them live. I'm only trying to tell you what it's like.
I know what it's like. It's painting a girder. There are other jobs.
It's my bridge. I wish you'd stop her rattling. It's getting on my nerves.
It's very advanced for 6 months.
I'm not doubting her progress. If she played the trumpet, it would be even more advanced, but it'd still be sending me around the bend. Here, give...
Now you set her off. She doesn't understand. Come on, then.
Well, see you later.
Where are you going?
Work.
It's your Saturday off.
No, it's my Saturday on.
Last Saturday was your Saturday on.
I'll take 2 off in a row. Listen. The hot sun makes you think of insects. But this insect hum is the whole city caught in a seashell. All conversation is hidden there among motors, coughing fits, applause, screams, laughter, feet on the stairs, secretaries typing, radios with sports scores, wheels turning, burgers frying, toilets flushing, lovers sighing, the mayor blowing his nose. All audible life in the vibration of a hairdryer in the room below. Dip brush, slap slide slick, goes on as smooth and shiny as my sweat. I itch. Paint on my arm. Silver paint on my brown arm. It could be part of the bridge. Listen. The note of Cloughton is B flat. The whole world could be the same. Look down. Is it a fact that all the dots have names?
Jack Morris is taking Maureen and little Riley to Las Vegas.
Who's Jack Morris?
Next door, Albert.
Who's Maureen?
Mrs. Morris.
So little Riley would be their little girl.
It's a little boy.
Ah. Why are we talking about them?
They're going to Las Vegas for vacation. Where are we going?
When?
That's what I'd like to know.
What?
Don't you have a vacation?
Oh, I suppose I do. Everybody does. Yes, I suppose Fitch must have taken that into account.
You're not going to skip your vacation. I know what you're up to. Don't think I'm such a fool that I don't know. You're working full Saturdays.
Overtime. I lose time in the winter.
It's because you don't like it here. Being at home.
Kate, I've got a schedule.
You're miles ahead of it.
I've got to have some saved up in case of accidents.
I told you! You'll fall off and me and Catherine will be alone!
No, stop crying. We'll have a vacation. I'll take a week.
2 weeks.
All right, I don't mind.
Can we go to Las Vegas?
I've been to Vegas. There's nothing there. We could go to Chicago.
Driving?
Sure. The city of big shoulders.
Oh, we don't have a car. And Maureen said that we could go with them.
But they're going to Vegas.
We could afford it. It wouldn't be hard. It's easier with 2 children and join forces. It would be fantastic. I've always wanted to see the Strip and the pyramids and the Bellagio and the Eiffel Tower. Albert! Albert, come down, please, come down!
The Eiffel Tower. I'm glad I came. The pointlessness takes one's breath away. The tower stands out so one can go up and look down. Bridge builders have none of this audacity, compromise themselves with function. Well, Siri fell. Poet and philosopher. Every 8 years, I'll carve your name in the silver of Cloughton-Bay Bridge. Coming down.
What's her name?
Kate.
What a coincidence.
Look, Kate, there's no woman.
I can smell her on your coat.
It's paint. I was up on the bridge.
All night?
I thought I might. It was nice.
You're crazy if you expect me to believe that. You're round the bend.
It's true.
And I believe it. I am round the bend. I'm as crazy as you are, and I believe it.
That's better.
No, it isn't. It's worse. A woman would be normal. You don't talk to me. You don't talk to Catherine. You can't wait to get out of the house and up your favorite girder. You don't like me anymore. I know you don't. I'm boring for you. I haven't got what you want, and you don't want to hear the things I have to tell you because I've got nothing to tell you. Nothing happens.
I like a quiet life, that's all.
Gutless. You'll spend your whole life painting that bridge.
It's a good job.
You know damn well it's a stupid job, which any idiot could do. But you're educated. Albert, you had opportunities. There was metal alloys and allied metals. You could have gone right up the ladder. We'd have a house and friends, and we'd entertain, and Catherine would have nice friends. You could have been an executive.
I was lying in bed one day when the girl came up to make it. She was all starchy. And when she moved, her skirt sort of crackled against her tights. I never had any regrets. But I did want her to be happy too.
I've begun talking to myself over the sink and the stove. I talk to myself because nobody else listens, and you won't talk to me. So I talk to the sink and the stove and the baby, and maybe one day one of them will answer me.
Night and day, I am the one. Day and night, I'm really a part of me. I've got me under my skin, so why don't I take all of me when I begin the beguine? The thought of me makes me stop. I've grown accustomed to my face. Thought of me makes me stop before I begin. Yes, I've got me under my skin, and I'm all right by me. Day and night, night and day, shall I compare me to a summer's day? 'Cause I saw me in Monterey, and I'm all right by me. I'm all right by me. I'm all right. Who's that? Who's there?
Very nice. Very nice. The Egotist School of Songwriting.
Who are you?
You mean my name?
I suppose so.
Fraser.
What are you doing on my bridge?
Yours.
I'm painting it. I'm authorized.
Oof. Wow, you've got a big job ahead of you.
I've got the time.
Well, you've got the time, perhaps, but I'd say that time is against you. The condition of the paintwork is pretty sketchy.
It hasn't been done for a while.
Yes, it's beginning to look definitely tacky.
I'm getting through it bit by bit.
Too slow. The old paint isn't lasting, you know. People have noticed. There's been talk.
Look here, are you the bridge inspector or something?
What?
Did Mr. Fitch send you?
Who?
What's it all about then?
Look down there. I came up because up was the only direction left. The rest has all been filled up and is still filling. The city is a cell where blind prisoners are packed wall to wall. Cars push each other down every street, and they're beginning to spread, breed, and they push people to the walls by their knees, pressing them by their knees, and there's no end to it, because if you stopped making them, then thousands of people would be thrown out of work. They'd have no money to spend, and the small business people would get caught up in it, and the farms, and the factories, and all the people dependent on them, and all their children. There's too much of everything, but the space for it is constant. The shell of humanity is feeling out, and it's expanding, and it's going to go bang!
You're frightened of traffic?
We are at the mercy of a vast complex of moving parts, any of which might fail. Civilization is in decline, and the white rhino is being wiped out for the racket in bogus aphrodisiacs.
An animal lover.
That was merely an image that I snatched at in my inability to express the whole. I have never been able to understand, for instance, why anyone should want to be a dentist. I cannot pin down the divinity that ensures that just so many people take up dentistry. And just so many people agree to milk cows, which would otherwise scream, just like children would scream if there were no dentists.
I see. A lunatic, in fact.
Not certifiably so. No, by no means certified. I am simply open, wide open to certain insights. I do not believe that there is anyone in control. There is the semblance of pattern, supply meeting demand, give and take, one-way streets, the presumption of return tickets, promises to pay the bearer on demand, etc., etc. But there's nothing really holding it together. One is forced to recognize the arbitrariness of what we claim to be order. There's a linchpin somewhere that when someone's gonna pull it and everything's gonna collapse, and I'm not staying here till it happens.
I see. Well, we all have our problems, but I don't see how that justifies you climbing about city property, so would you please descend?
Well, that's what I came up for.
To descend?
Well, it never occurred to me to stay here.
You came up to go down?
To jump.
Jump?
Off.
Jump off? You'd kill yourself.
Yes.
I see.
My mind was made up.
I see your point.
It seemed the easiest thing to do.
All right, then. Time is hurrying by, waiting for no man, or is that tide?
Oh, I see. You're trying to humor me. Well, I expected that. Next thing, you'll be sending for a priest.
Come on, then. Don't procrastinate.
Me?
You said you're going to jump.
Well,
jump.
Well, aren't you going to try to talk me out of it?
You know your own mind. Plus, I've got to paint where you're standing.
You wouldn't just stand there without lifting a finger.
I thought that's what you wanted.
Well, I did. I couldn't stand the noise and the chaos, the enormity of that disorder. I couldn't get free of it, so dependent on a chance sequence of action, reaction. So I began to climb, to get some height, to be sure, enough to drop from. And the higher I climbed, the more I saw, and the less I heard. And look now, I've been up here for hours looking down on it, and well, all it is dots and bricks, giving off a gentle hum. Quite small, quite safe, after all. Seen from above, quite ordered, laid out in squares, each square a function, each dot a functionary. I really think it might work. Yeah, from a vantage point like this, the idea of society is just about tenable.
Blew it. Well, watch your step. Don't fall.
Gentlemen, this special emergency meeting of the Clefton-Bay Bridge Subcommittee has been called as a result of public representations, both direct and via the press, concerning the unsightly condition of what is a symbol of Clefton's prosperity. My grandfather, who was loved by the public and owed everything to them, must be turning in his grave. Just a reminder that we are all servants of the public, Mr. Fitch.
Here, Mr. Chairman.
Shut up, Dave. As chairman, I, of course, take full responsibility. That is the duty of the chairman, regardless of where the responsibility actually lies, Mr. Fitch.
Here, Mr. Chairman.
This is no smiling matter, Jen. The city publicity officer has been on to me, Amtrak has been on to me, the Park Service has been on to me, and the Clefton Chronicle is doing its damnedest to get on to me. This committee is a shame and a laughingstock of the Clefton Council, and as possible future mayor, I am gravely embarrassed by having to carry the weight of the lack of foresight and watchfulness on the part of committee members whose names I will not mention, Jen. I have issued a statement to the effect that the squalid state of disrepair of Clefton's highly respected bridge is a result of a miscalculation by a senior public official, for which I, as chairman, take full responsibility, Mr. Fitch.
I can only say in mitigation that I have been under pressure. A sick man, domestic and financial worries.
Right. Let's stick to essentials. 2 years ago, at your insistence, and against my better judgment, which I left completely unspoken in deference to your professional capacity, we arranged to switch to an improved paint lasting 8 years, and, for a reasoning which I never pretended to follow, sacked 3 of the 4 painters. Today, 2 years later, we are left with a bridge that is only 1/4 painted, while the other 3/4 is in a condition ranging from the substandard to the decrepit. Now then, what happened?
Mr. Chairman, gentlemen, I have served Clefton man and boy for 5 years. Clefton is the repository of my dreams and boyhood memories, the temple of my hopes to transform the running of a living community into a thing of precision and efficiency. A cybernetic poem, a programmed machine as perfect as a rose.
For God's sakes, Fitch, pull yourself together, man.
Gentlemen, Let us take as our starting point the proposition that X painters painting at the rate of Y would take Z years to paint surface ABC. Then along came factor P, paint lasting 8 years.
I can't stand it.
I think what Mr. Fitch is trying to get at is that the brown paint on the bridge was only supposed to last 2 years. The amount of time it took 4 painters to finish the job and start again. Well, of course, when we switched to one painter using 8-year paint, it was obvious that in 2 years' time, he'd only be a quarter of the way along. The old paint would be ready for another coat.
If it was so obvious, why didn't you say anything?
I couldn't catch the eye of the chairman. Of course, if we could hold on for another 6 years, Mr. Fitch would emerge triumphantly as the poet of precision and efficiency.
He might be dead in 6 years.
Here, here, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Dave. Now then, what are we going to do about this, Fitch?
If we hired extra painters, one to start from the far end, one in one direction going one way, the other going the opposite. No, the progressive element intercedes. We have 2 painters, back to back at a point, 9/16 from the far end. No.
You know, we better just go back to the old system and hire 3 painters. Carry on from there.
You can't do that. They would finish too soon on one hand, and they wouldn't be quick enough on the other. You see, the bridge won't need repainting for another 6 years, and the resultant coefficient, waste and unsightliness, the entire system would disintegrate and cost thousands.
Money, my grandfather!
I think I can see a way out, gentlemen. From the points of view of efficiency and expediency, I believe we can get the whole thing resolved with just a bit of organization.
Every day counts.
1 day is all we'll need.
Met a guy up on the bridge the other day.
Oh, yes?
Yes, climbed to chuck himself off.
Did he?
No, once he got up there, the mood passed.
Albert,
I'm going.
you used to say goodbye.
Hello?
Who's that?
Me again.
Did you forget something?
No, it all came back to me. After I went down, it all started again, so I came back up.
To jump?
Yes.
Go on then.
No, I'm all right. I don't want to now.
Look here, this isn't a public right of way. I'll have to report you.
Well, I can't help it. I'm forced up and coaxed down. I'm a victim of perspective.
Get down!
All right, I'm going.
I'm not a complaining man. I let people get on with their lives. I'm sympathetic to problems, but a line must be drawn. I found him up there 4 times now, Mr. Fitch, and each time it's the same story. He doesn't want to jump, and I've given him every chance.
Yes, but that isn't what I've asked to see you about at all. You haven't been listening to me.
It's unnerving me finding company up there. Well, it's changing the character of the job and playing hell with my schedule. Simply on the level of efficiency, I protest.
Well, as I stated, for the reasons given, the matter is to be resolved. We have to get the bridge finished by the end of the week.
What?
We can't allow further deterioration. The public is angry.
Wait a minute, I can't possibly finish by the end of the week.
I realize, of course, that you'll need help. I have made arrangements.
What arrangements?
1,800 painters will report for work at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. By nightfall, the job will be done. I have personally worked it out, and my department has taken care of the logistics.
1,800?
1,799. I kept a place for you. I thought you'd like that.
They're moving in on me. The dots are ganging up. I'll need food, some spare clothes, a couple blankets. What are you doing?
Packing. Albert, I'm going.
No, Kate, you don't understand. They're trying to edge me out, but I've earned my position. I've worked for it.
I've got a job. A housemaid. Live in with Catherine. I'll let you know my days off for visiting.
Kate. I'm sorry. Will you come along to the bridge to see me sometimes? Will you come along and wave? dip, brush, slap, slide, slick, slap it on, slide silver over the iron, glide like Mercury, slip, slide, tickle, and wipe. In 8 years, I'll be pushing 30. A manic painter coming through for the second time. Dip, brush, dip, brush, dip, brush, dip, brush.
What's the rush?
Fraser.
You're really going at it.
Get down, get down.
Whoa, this isn't like you at all.
I'm not having you up here.
Well, there's room for both of us.
You're just the first, and I'm not going to have it. If you're going to jump, jump.
Well, that's why I came again.
You're going to jump.
No, not today.
Up and down like a yo-yo.
I agree that it's ludicrous. Down there, I am assailed by the flying splinters of a world breaking up at the speed of procreation without end. It's crazy, man. The center cannot hold and the outside edge is filling out like a balloon without the assurance of infinity. More men are hungry than honest, and more eat than produce. The apocalypse cannot be long delayed.
You'd be better out of it. I'll tell them why you did it, if that's what's worrying you.
So I climb up and prepare to cast myself off without faith in angels to catch me, or desire that they should. And lo, I find that the proportions have been reestablished. My confidence is restored. My perspective.
But it's my bridge.
You think only of yourself. You see yourself as the center, whereas I know that I'm not placed at all.
There are other bridges, bigger.
What's that?
San Francisco, Sydney.
Listen.
Brooklyn, there's a place for you.
Listen.
But I was here first. This is mine. So they're coming.
There's an army on the march. A solid phalanx moving squarely up the road. An officer at the head.
Fitch.
But they're not soldiers.
He's mad.
They're just people.
Go away!
Coming here.
All about turn!
They've lined up hundreds and hundreds of ordinary people. The overflow. All the young men in the prime of their lives, they are always the ones on the list. Preference is given to the old and the sick, the women and the children. When it comes to a point, it's the young and able-bodied who always go first.
Can't you see they're taking over?
10 abreast, 60 deep. And another phalanx behind. And another. Successive waves.
They're going to come up.
It was the only direction left.
They're going to wheel right.
Right wheel!
Off the edge of the road, through the gate.
Straighten up there!
Onto the tracks, onto the end of the bridge.
That's it then. They finally run out of space. The outside edge is all filled up, and now there is only up.
1,800 men flung against me by a madman.
There'll be more behind them. Successive waves, man. The concrete mixers turn and turn until only a single row of corn grows between two cities and is finally ground between their walls.
I could have done it given time.
They'll all come following, women and children too. And those that are at the top will be pushed off like disgraced legionaries.
I had it under control, ahead of a schedule.
But they should be breaking step.
I was all right. I was doing well.
Like soldiers do when they come to a bridge for the very good reason
I was
that
still
if they
young.
don't, the pressures cannot bounce but build and have to break out
for heights.
They don't know or don't believe it, but the physical laws are inviolable.
What's happening?
And if you carry on like that, a bridge will shiver. The girder stands it trembling for the release of the energy being driven through it.
It's breaking
until
up.
the rivets pop.
What are they doing to my
40-foot
bridge?
girder moans like a Jew's harp. And one's enough
to go to such lengths. I didn't do them any harm. What did I have that they wanted?
Very nice.
Good evening.
Good evening. A lovely night. Morning, actually.
Yes, Mr.
I'm sorry to be so late.
Were you expected earlier?
No, I telephoned.
Yes?
Yes.
I mean...
I telephoned from the station.
You said it was an emergency?
That's right. Do you know what time it is?
It's 2:30.
That's right. An emergency.
I woke the house doctor.
A kind thought, but it's all right. Do you want me to sign in?
What is the nature of your emergency, Mr. Brown?
I need a place to stay.
Are you ill?
No.
But this is a private hospital.
The best kind. What is a hospital without privacy? That's the privacy I'm after. That and the clean linen. I've got money.
The Beechwood Nursing Home.
I require nursing. I need to be nursed for a bit. Yes. Have you got a sign-in sheet?
I'm sorry, but admissions have to be arranged in advance, except in the case of a genuine emergency. I have no authority.
What do you want with authority? A nice girl like you? Where have you put me?
And you have no authority.
That's true. That's one thing I've never had. I've come a long way.
Would you wait just one moment?
Certainly. Have you got a sign-in sheet? You must abide by the regulations. Or should I pay in advance?
No, that's quite all right.
I've got it all in here. Ooh.
Doctor, this is Mr. Brown.
Oh, good evening. What seems to be the trouble?
Caught my finger.
May I see? Have you come far?
Yes, I've been traveling all day. No, not with my finger. I did that just now. A zipper stuck.
Oh, and what?
Mr. Brown says there's nothing wrong with him.
That's right.
He just wants a bed.
A room.
But this isn't a hotel.
Exactly.
So... Exactly what?
I don't follow you.
Perhaps I'm confused. You see, I was asleep.
It's all right. I understand. Well, if someone would show me to my room, I won't disturb you any further.
I don't believe we have any rooms free at the moment.
Oh, yes. This young lady arranged it.
He telephoned from the station. He said it was an emergency.
Missed my connection.
But you've come to the wrong place.
No, this is the place, all right. I don't want to be a nuisance.
Did you try the Tavern Inn in town?
I'm not drunk.
They have rooms.
I've got a room. What's the matter?
Nothing. Nothing's the matter. All right.
Yes, doctor. I'll have to make an entry.
Observation.
I'm not much to look at.
Let me take this for you, Mr. Brown.
No, don't you. There's nothing the matter with me. This is nice. I like it here.
Will you be all right?
Yes, I'm all right now. Picture window.
The bathroom is across the corridor.
What's the view?
Well, it's the drive and the gardens.
Gardens. A front room. What could be nicer?
Are your night things in here?
Yes, I'll be very happy here.
I am so sorry.
What time is breakfast?
8.
Lunch?
12.
Snack?
3.
Supper?
6:30.
Hot cocoa?
9.
Rounds? Twice a day?
Yes.
Temperatures?
Morning and evening.
Change of sheets?
Monday.
Like clockwork. Lovely.
Excuse me?
I was just saying, everything's A+.
Oh, I remembered your finger.
I'd forgotten myself. It's nothing, really.
We'll put this on overnight.
Must be wonderful to have the healing touch. You should get to bed now. You look tired.
Thank you. I expect your head nurse will be along to discuss your case with you tomorrow.
My finger?
Well, I expect she'd like to meet you.
Be pleased to meet her.
Yes, a final point, Mr. Brown. This form you filled in where it says permanent address, you put down Beechwood Nursing Home.
Yes. Well, you never know what the future brings, but, well, for a while, I'd like to think of it as home.
I have absolutely no idea. The nurse had looked like several $100,000. His savings, yes. No, I'd rather you didn't. I don't really want the police turning up at the bedside of any patient who doesn't arrive with a life history. I think we get more out of him, given a little time. And we certainly keep you informed. No, he's not being difficult at all. You don't need to worry about that. I don't think he's going to run away. He seems quite happy.
The point is not breakfast in bed, but breakfast in bed without guilt. Rich men's wives can pull it off, but if you're not a rich man's wife, you've got to be ill. Lunch in bed is more difficult, even for the rich. And it's not any more expensive, but the disapproval is harder to ignore. To stay in bed after that is almost impossible, and not to get up at all would probably bring in the authorities. Even if you had the strength of character, there's just a point where it becomes certifiable. But in a hospital, it is not only understood, it's expected. That's the beauty of it. Well, I'm not saying it's a great discovery. It's obvious, really, but I'd say I'd got something.
If you'd got something, there wouldn't be all this fuss.
Is there a fuss? Well, they should leave well enough alone. I'm paying my way. Are you pretty full at the time?
Not at the moment, not very.
You'd think a place as nice as this would be very popular.
Popular?
Well, I thought I might have to wait for a place, you know. Of course, it's a bit out of the way, no passing traffic, so to speak. But I'm very fond of the countryside myself.
Where do you live?
I've never lived, only stayed.
Do you have a family?
I expect so.
You should settle down somewhere.
I've been promising myself this.
You should find your family.
I lost touch.
But you should find them.
Their name's Brown.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. You must be the head nurse.
That's right.
I must congratulate you on your hospital. It's a lovely place you run here. Everyone is so nice.
Well, thank you, Mr. Brown. I'm glad you feel at home.
I never felt it there. Very good breakfast, just what the doctor ordered. I hope you got a bit of sleep.
Now, what's your problem, Mr. Brown?
I have no problems.
Your complaint.
No complaints either. 5 stars.
Most people who come here have something the matter with them.
Well, that must give you a lot of extra work.
But it's what we're here for. You see, you can't really stay unless there's something wrong with you.
I can pay.
That's not the point.
What is the point?
This is a hospital. What are you looking for?
My approach is too straightforward. An ordinary malingerer or a genuine hypochondriac wouldn't have all this trouble. They'd be accepted on their own terms. All I get is a lot of personal questions. Maybe I could catch something. Would that make a difference to you?
We have to keep the beds free for people who need them.
I need this room.
I believe you, Mr. Brown, but wouldn't another room like this one do? Somewhere else? You see, we deal with physical matters of the body.
There's nothing wrong with my mind. I've never been committed.
I know.
How do you know? Look, go for the obvious. It's worth considering. I know what I like. A nice atmosphere, good food, clean rooms, day and night service, no demands, cheerful staff. Well, it's worth $3,000 a week. I won't be any trouble.
Have you thought of going to a nice country hotel?
Different kettle of fish altogether. I want to do nothing and have nothing expected of me. That isn't possible out there. It worries them. They want to know what's wrong with you, staying in your room all the time. They want to know what you're doing. But in a hospital, it is understood that you're not doing anything because, well, everybody's in the same boat. It's the normal thing, being a patient. That's what I'm cut out for, I think. I've got a vocation for it.
But there's nothing wrong with you.
Well, that's why I'm here. If there was something wrong with me, I could get into any old hospital. Free. As it is, I'm quite happy to pay for not having anything wrong with me. If I catch something, then well, perhaps I'll transfer, but, well, I don't know. I like it here. It depends on how my money lasts. I wouldn't like to go to a city hospital.
But what do you want to do here?
Nothing.
You'll find that very boring.
Well, one must expect to be bored in a hospital.
Have you been in a hospital quite a lot?
No, I've been saving up for it.
No luck? Oh, well, I don't know. The only plan we've got is to bore him out of here, but he's disturbingly self-sufficient. We've had a psychiatrist over. Well, he seemed amused. Both of them, actually. They were both amused. No, I wouldn't do that. He won't tell you anything. And there's one of our nurses. She's getting on very well with him. Something's bound to come out soon.
I'm wasting my time here, you know.
Normal.
You'll have to do better than that if you're going to stay.
You're breaking my heart, Maggie.
Brownie, what are you going to do with yourself?
Maggie, why do you want me to do something?
They've all got theories about you, you know.
Theories?
Bank robber,
That's a good one.
with the CIA, embezzler,
No, naturally.
eccentric millionaire.
Wish I was. I'd have my own hospital then, just for myself. I'd have the whole thing, with wards all named after important people you've never heard of. And nurses, doctors, specialists, cleaning people, gurneys, rubber floors, sterilized aluminum, flowers, clean towels, and fire regulations, all built around me and staffed to feed me and check me and tick me off on a chart.
It's generally agreed you're on the run.
I've stopped.
Fixations have been mentioned.
But you know better.
I think you're just lazy.
I knew you were the clever one.
Tell me, what's the matter, Brownie?
I would if there was.
What do you stay here for then?
I like you.
You didn't know I was here.
That's true. I came for the quiet and the routine. Came for the white calm, meals on trays and quiet efficiency. Time passing and bringing nothing. That seemed enough. Well, I never got it down to a person. But I like you. I like you very much.
Well, I like you too, Brownie, but there's more in life than that.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And how are we this morning?
We're very well. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Well, are you enjoying life?
Yes, thank you.
And what have you been doing?
Nothing.
What do you want to do?
Nothing.
Now, really, Mr. Brown, this won't do, you know.
Why not?
You mustn't lose interest in life.
I was never very interested in the first place.
Wouldn't you like to get up for a while? Have a walk in the gardens. There's no reason why you shouldn't.
No, I suppose not, but I didn't come here for that. I must have walked thousands of miles in my time.
It's not healthy to stay in bed all day.
Perhaps I'll get something.
Well, isn't there anything you could do indoors?
What do the other patients do?
The other patients are here because they are not well.
Well, I thought patients did things. Pottery.
Does that appeal to you?
No.
I suppose you wouldn't like to make paper flowers?
What on earth for? You've got lots of real ones.
You haven't got any.
Well, no one knows I'm here.
Then you must tell someone.
I don't want them to know.
Who?
Everybody.
You'll soon get tired of sitting in bed.
Then I'll sit by the window. I'm easily pleased.
I can't let you just languish away in here. You must do something.
All right. What?
We've got basket weaving.
Then I'll be left alone, will I?
Well, I don't know. How many John Browns are registered with the IRS? Oh my God, that many? Well, if it's any consolation, it may not be his real name. I know it doesn't help. That's an idea, yes! His fingerprints! No, I'll get him on a glass or something. Yes! He might have been in trouble in some time.
Basket work.
But what is it for?
Therapy.
You're making fun of me.
It is functional on one level only. If that. You would like me to build some sort of laundry basket, wouldn't you? And, well, lower myself in it out of the window. That would be functional on 2 levels. At least. And I'm not even blind. Ladies and gentlemen, a failure. Now I suppose you'll start asking me questions again.
What about painting, Mr. Brown?
Painting? I used to do a bit of painting.
Splendid. Would you do some for me?
Paint in here?
Nurse Coates will bring you materials.
What colors do you like?
I like all colors. Just paint what you fancy. Paint scenes from your own life.
Clever. Should I paint my last place of employment?
I'm trying to help you.
I'm sorry. I know you are, but I don't need help. Everything's fine for me. Would you like me to paint landscapes?
Yes, that would be nice.
No. Well, we haven't got anything against him, really. He's not doing any harm. No, he pays regularly. We can't really refuse. He's got lots left.
Hello? I'll need some more paint.
Brownie! I gave you drawing paper!
I like space. I like the big sweep, contours of hills all flowing. I don't paint leaves. I make you see trees and clumps of green.
Head nurse will have a fit!
What are the flowers?
You don't deserve them.
Maggie, who are they from?
Me?
Maggie.
I didn't buy them.
Stole them.
Picked them.
A lovely thought. Put them there. I should bring you flowers.
I'm not ill.
Nor am I. Do you like it?
It's lovely.
I'm only doing it to please head nurse, really. I could do it with a bigger brush. And there's more paint. Is there? I'll need lots of blue. It's gonna be summer in here.
It's summer outside. Isn't that good enough for you?
I couldn't stay out there. You don't get the benefits.
I'll have to tell head nurse, you know.
You don't get the looking after. Not out there. Or the privacy.
Not as if he's psychotic.
Or Picasso.
What did the psychiatrist think?
He likes it.
About him?
Oh, yeah, he likes him too.
He's likable.
He knows what he's doing.
Hiding.
From what? I just thought I'd let him stay the night. I wanted to go back to bed, and it seemed like the easiest thing to do. I thought that in the morning. Well, I'm not sure what I thought would happen in the morning.
He's not simple. He's giving nothing away. Not even to Nurse Coates.
We'll keep her at it.
She doesn't need much keeping.
That was when I started nursing, after that.
Funny. I would have thought your childhood was all ponies and big stone-floored kitchens.
Goes to show. What was your childhood like?
Young. I wish I'd got more money.
You've got a lot. You must have had a good job.
Place kicker for the Patriots.
You're not fair. You don't give me anything in return.
This painting's for you, Maggie. If I'd got 4 times as much money, I'd take 4 rooms and paint 1 for each season. But I've only got money for the summer.
What will you do when it's gone?
I don't know. Maybe I'll get ill and have to go to hospital. But I'll miss you, Maggie.
If you had someone to look after you, you wouldn't have this trouble.
What trouble?
If you had someone to cook your meals and do your laundry, you'd be all right, wouldn't you?
It's the things that go with it.
You should have got married. I bet you had chances.
Perhaps.
It's not too late.
You don't think so?
You're attractive.
What do you like when you're not wearing a uniform?
Mr. Brown!
No, I didn't.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just can't think of you not being a nurse. It belongs to another world. I'm not part of anymore.
What have you got about hospitals?
Well, a hospital is a very dependable place. Anything could be going on outside. Since I've been in here, well, there could be a war on, and well, for once it's got nothing to do with me. I don't even know about it. Fire, flood, and misery of all kinds across the world or over the hill, it can all go on, but this is a private ward, and I'm paying for it. There's one thing that's always impressed me about hospitals. They've all got their own generators in case of power cuts, and water tanks. I mean, a hospital can carry on, set loose from the world. The meals come in on trays, on the dot. The dust never settles before it's wiped. Clean laundry at the appointed time. The head nurse comes in and does her rounds, and temperatures are taken. Pulses, too, taken in pure conditions, not affected by anything going on outside. You need never worry about anything. It doesn't touch you.
That's not true, Brownie.
I know it's not.
Then you shouldn't try and make it true.
I know I shouldn't.
Is that all there is to it, then?
You still got theories?
There's a new one. You're a retired forger.
The money's real enough.
I know.
How do you know?
They had it checked.
They've got to make it difficult. It's got to be a crook or a lunatic.
Then why don't you tell them where you came from?
They want to pass me on, but they don't know who to or where. I'm happy here.
Haven't you been happy anywhere else?
Yes. I had a good 4 years of it once.
In a hospital?
No, abroad.
Where have you been?
All over. I've been among Germans, Greeks, Turks, Arabs, Afghans.
What were you doing?
Different things in different places. I was painting in Germany.
An artist.
Oh, very. Green and brown. I could turn a row of tanks into a row of hedges. Not literally. Worst luck.
He meant camouflage. Well, I realize that, but there are a number of points to narrow the field. His age, for one thing. I know, they're all the same age. There must be records of some kind. Service in Germany, Middle East, Iraq, and Afghanistan.
Very nice, Brownie. Perhaps you'll be famous and people will come here to see your mural.
I wouldn't let them in.
After you're dead in 100 years.
Yes, they could come in then.
What will you do when you finish the room?
Go back to bed and pick up the threads of my old life. It'll be nice in here. Hospital routine in a pastoral setting. That's kind of perfection, really.
You could have put your bed in the garden.
What's the date?
The 27th.
I've lasted well, haven't I?
How old are you?
Older than you.
24.
What are you thinking?
Only thinking.
Yes?
You were in the army, fighting.
Yes. Private Brown.
Was it awful?
I didn't like the first bit, but in the end it was very nice.
What happened to you?
I got taken prisoner.
Oh. Well, you're still private, aren't you, Brownie?
Better than being dead.
Being private?
A prisoner. 4 years.
Is that where you were happy?
Yes. Funny thing, that camp. Up to then, it was all terrible. Chaos. All the pins must have fallen off the map. Bombers and bullets. The camp was like, it was like breathing out for the first time in months. I couldn't believe it. It was like winning being captured. Well, it gets different people in different ways, and some couldn't stand it, and some went by the book. It's a duty to escape. They were digging like ferrets. They had a hole dug out of my hut right into nowhere. There were 20 in the hut, and I watched all 19 of them go off, and they were all back in a week. Except one, who was dead. I didn't care what they'd called me. I'd won. The war was still going on, but I wasn't going to it anymore. They gave us food, and life was regulated in a box of earth and wire and sky, and then sometimes you'd hear an airplane miles up, and it couldn't touch you. On my second day there, I knew what it reminded me of.
What?
Here. It reminded me of here.
John Brown. And an address. It was obvious. Well done.
But does it make any difference? What was he doing around here?
Holiday? Staying with relatives? Oh, we can find out.
So long ago?
Compound fracture? Car incident? The driver paid for him. Well, something to go on at last.
But he hasn't done anything wrong, has he?
You see, peace, well, it didn't match up to the war I'd had.
So what did you do then?
Well, this and that. Didn't really like any of it. I thought I'd like to be a lighthouse keeper. Didn't work out. Didn't like the company.
Company?
There were 3 of us.
Oh.
Well, then I thought I'd be a sort of a monk. But they wouldn't have me because I didn't believe enough for their purposes. I asked them to let me stay without being a proper monk, but they weren't having any of that. You know, what I needed is a sort of monastery for agnostics.
Like a hospital for the healthy.
That's it.
Brownie.
Shouldn't you be working or something?
I'll go if you like.
No, I like you being here. I just wondered.
Wondered what?
Well, I'm telling you about myself, aren't I? I shouldn't put you in that position. If they find out, they'll blame you for not passing it on.
But you haven't done anything wrong, have you, Brownie?
Is that what you're here for?
No.
There.
It's lovely.
Yes. Quite good. It'll be nice to sit inside my painting. Enjoy that.
Brown. John Brown. Yes, he was here before, a long time ago. We've got him in the records. And an address. We'll start checking. Well, there's got to be somebody.
Are you ready for lunch?
Wow, you are good. It's better than anyone would have thought.
Where's Maggie?
Nurse Coates? I don't know.
But she's my nurse.
Yours? Well, she's everybody's.
You don't understand. She's been looking after me, you see?
Well, Mr. Brown, good news.
Yes?
You're going to have visitors.
Visitors?
Yes, your sister Mary and her husband. They were amazed to hear from you.
They didn't hear from me.
They're traveling up here tomorrow. All your friends have been wondering where you got to.
What friends?
Oh, well, there's an army friend, isn't there? What's his name?
I don't know. Where's Nurse Coates gone?
Nowhere. She's round. I think she's nice downstairs this week. I understand you were here once before as a child?
Yes.
You are a mystery, aren't you? To tell you quite frankly, we did wonder about you. Some quite romantic ideas, not entirely believable.
I told you there was nothing like that. Why couldn't
your brother-in-law said something about a job. Thought you might be interested.
You couldn't leave well enough alone, could you?
It's not enough, Mr. Brown. You've got to connect.
Back where? You've got nothing to run for, have you? Nothing to hide? I know you haven't.
I know you know, but well, they've been busy. It wasn't worth the trouble, you know?
You blame me?
No. Well, no, I don't. Really, well, you had to tell them, didn't you?
I'm sorry.
I thought it was for the best.
Yes, I did. I still do. It's not good for you what you're doing.
How do you know? You mean it wouldn't be good for you? How do you know it's good for me?
They're coming tomorrow. Family, friends. Isn't that good?
I could have found them if I'd wanted to. I didn't come here for that. They won. They won. I feel I should breathe in before going out there.
I can't let you go, Brownie.
Regulations.
I can't.
I'm free to come and go. I'm paying.
I know, but this is a hospital.
I'm not ill. Don't wake the doctor. He doesn't like being woken. Don't be sorry. I had a good time here with you. Do you think they'll leave my painting?
Brownie.
The trouble is, I've always been so well. If I'd been sick, I would have been all right.